Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lugness Monster. Today, we'll be reviewing the Star Wars The Black Series Gaming Greats 13th Battalion Trooper. Now, this figure is from the video game Jedi Fallen Order, and I personally love this figure just because I personally love the game Fallen Order. Anyway, this figure is mainly based off of the flashback scenes to Order 66, and I was just really happy that they decided to make this figure because it looks incredible and is one of my favorite parts of the game. Anyway, taking a close look at the box, we do have this amazing artwork on the side here. I do love like the kind of like hanger in the background. It's kind of hard to see. It's more like a hallway than a hanger, I guess. But it looks really cool, and I'm digging how that looks. We also do have the number. It is number 12 in the Gaming Greats line, and we do have just more of that artwork on the back there. You can pause and read the bio if you would like. But yeah, other than that, besides the Gaming Greats logo there's not a whole lot more going on. So let's go ahead, get this guy out of the box, and take a closer look. Alrighty, so we do have the 13th Battalion Trooper out of the box and on the spinny stand, and he is looking really nice. I do have to say, I absolutely love this color scheme. I think it transitioned from like the video game to figure form very nicely, and I even love like the pattern. Really digging this figure. Definitely came out great, and it is on that new clone body as well, which is incredible. So overall, it's looking pretty good for this figure, but let's go ahead, take him off of the spinny stand, and take a closer look. Okay, so taking a closer look at this figure, I do have to say I am really digging this color scheme. I know I did mention it before, but I just love the kind of like arrow design on the front of the helmet mixed with that kind of like V design on the chest. I think it just turned out great, and definitely reflects the game nicely. I also do really love the silver details on the grill of the helmet there. I know that a lot of the older clones, especially on like the newer clone body as well, didn't have that, but some of the newer ones have been getting it, and I do really like what they've been doing with that. Going over some articulation, he does have a ball joint at the top of the head and where the neck meets like the shoulder, so two ball joints, which means a ton of articulation at the head, which is great. His arms can go all the way up, and the shoulder pads are like malleable plastic, so they can like go over the chest piece there, so they don't get in the way of articulation. So he can get a nice T-pose. Bringing those back down, I do want to notice that mine has this big notch on it straight out of the box. I don't know what that is from, but my other one does not have that. So not really sure what that is. It's probably just some kind of like manufacturing error. But yeah, I did want to point that out. Looking at his elbows, can get a little past 90, which is great. Much better than the original clone body. And his wrists can get a horizontal hinge on one and a vertical hinge on the other. Now looking at the body, he does have butterfly joints, which is great. Gotta love butterfly joints, especially for figures that hold blasters like this. And he does have a ball joint at the abs, giving a ton of articulation there. Looking at the legs, this point on his armor does kind of get in the way, so he can kick out, but you kind of have to turn his leg to kick out, which means when he kicks, it's sideways, which is very strange. Now you can turn the front of the leg, so it looks normal, but then the problem is that the knee pad is on the thigh piece rather than the shin piece, and so because of that, the knee is crooked, it's sideways. And this has been a big problem on these newer clone bodies, but it is very frustrating. Anyway, ton of articulation on the knee there, so you can get in some nice like kneeling poses if you'd like. And then at the ankles, he does have pivots and rockers as well. Both are very tight, which is good because you can get some nice poses with it. And then he can kick out about that far as well, so pretty good articulation. And of course, looking at blasters, he does come with just the standard clone blaster that all the clones come with. A lot of clones have been coming with rifles as well, but this one only does come with the blaster. That is unfortunate. I would have liked them to include the rifle as well, but the blaster is pretty nice, and I'm just glad that he came with a weapon. First up for comparisons, we do have the 13th Battalion Trooper next to Cal Kestis. This is the original Red Box release, and this is my personal favorite release of Cal, and honestly, I think they look great together. Now, I don't really know if we actually saw like older Cal next to these clone troopers, or if it was just the young Padawan Cal. It might have been in some flashbacks, but I really do hope we get a Padawan Cal and a Jero Tapal to go with these clones, because that would be amazing. And then next up for comparisons, we do have the Deluxe Cal as well. Very similar outfit, but of course he does have that bright orange jumpsuit with the gray poncho. I do love the poncho look, but I'm not a big fan of that bright jumpsuit. So I wish they would have made the jumpsuit a little bit of like a more natural, darker tone, and then maybe colorize the poncho to be yellow. But that like bright orange jumpsuit just doesn't do much for me. But I think he looks great next to the 13th Battalion Troopers. Anyway, we do have a comparison of a few of the Grunt clones. We do have the Walgreens 212th on the right and the Walgreens 187th on the left. One thing that I found very interesting is they almost all three have different shades of white. The Walgreens 212th almost has like a bluish white, with the 187th it has more of that like yellowish off-white color. And so yeah, it's really interesting to see the variation between the armors. Obviously the orange, yellow, and burgundy color are all different, but it's interesting to see the different shades of white as well. And then for some more trooper comparisons, we do have the Camino clone on the right, and then the Imperial clone shock trooper from the Bad Batch on the left. And I did just remove that pauldron, so it's basically just a normal shock trooper on that new clone body, which is pretty cool, but I do hope they release that as an actual figure. We'll have to wait and see though. And then last up for trooper comparisons, we do have the 501st Archive figure on the right, and then the 332nd on the left. I gotta say, compared to the like original clone body, I'm really digging that new clone body. I just think the proportions are all kind of out of whack with that original clone body, and plus the articulation sucks. Now I will give credit where credit is due. The weathering on that old clone body is incredible. I love the weathering and paint detail that figure has, but you just can't beat the articulation of that new clone body. And then last up for comparisons, the 13th Battalion is a very, very similar shade of yellow compared to Commander Bly. And so I think I'm going to kind of use the 13th Battalion Troopers as my stand-in for the, the 327th Star Corps, just until they decide to make some of those figures. Because as of right now, we have Bly and Ayla Secura, but no grunts to go with them. So I think the 13th Battalion is going to kind of stand in until they either make a Joe to Paul, or until they make some of those 327th Star Corps. But yeah, they look great, and the yellow colors are almost exact, so pretty cool. But yeah, overall, I'm really digging this figure. I'm a big fan of that new clone body, like I've mentioned a lot in this video, but I'm also just a fan of the design and the character from the game. I'm a big fan of the 13th Battalion Trooper just from the game itself, and so that, alongside that new clone body and that awesome design, I gotta give this a 5 out of 5. I don't really find anything wrong with that new clone body, and this is definitely one of the best looking clones on that body as well. So definitely deserves a 5 out of 5. If you guys did enjoy, the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.